What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Lockdown 23 and 1. And you know I gotta end this night on a positive note. And what better way to do it than with some milk and cookies and a good old-fashioned prison story time. That's right, we're gonna be talking about getting turned out in the penitentiary, pimped out. Let me just go to my Urban Dictionary so y'all really comprehend what the meaning of turned out means now. It is prison slang. The process by which a male inmate, through violent coercion, is transformed into a female typical or passive sexual role. Specifically, a person is said to be turned out when constant intimidation, battery, and or rape changes the identity of the inmate, including appearance, mannerisms, sexual orientation, even gender identification. That's right. Being turned out, and it's prison slang for a reason. It happens in the penitentiary on the regular. Okay, like I said, there's many different forms of rape in the state penitentiary, and nowadays they don't just take it. They got time. They will manipulate you until you give up all of that. You know what I mean? And they usually hit you at your most weakest time. And this is what happened to this guy named Bobby. I don't remember his name. We're just going to name him Bobby for the evening, alright? Bobby was my cell neighbor, and anyone who's been in a cell block knows that your neighbors right next to you, you typically know a little more about them than the rest of the guys in there, because, I mean, you wake up every morning, you see them, you share cleaning gear, stuff like that. So you know a little bit about your cellmate neighbors, okay? And this guy, Bobby, he was new too, but he came in about 7 months after I started, okay? And I was pretty much new to the prison game as well, 7 months, but I was hooked up with two of my homeboys that were into everything, you know what I mean? So I learned the ropes like that. I mean, I was in there. I knew everything that was going on around me, man. I just didn't know the inmates, all the inmates, well yet, you know what I mean? 7 months is a good time amount to learn about some of the inmates, but a lot of them you really just don't know about yet. So this guy Bobby, man, after about 3 or 4 weeks of being in the block, he seemed to be really relaxed. And, you know, I kind of liked him, man. He was one of these guys that he called himself like a squatter on the street, like one of those guys that just sleep in sleep in houses that have nothing in it, abandoned houses, or run jump state on trains and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I don't know really too much about squatters, but that's what he was. He had like railroad tracks tattooed on him and crazy stuff, man. And I met a few of these guys, but this guy was in the state penitentiary. And this guy one day, man, you know, he played poker. I played poker every single day. I was right there watching everything that happened. You know what I mean? And he started slowly running up a decent debt of like a $350. And $350 in the state penitentiary is like $3,500 on the street. $350, you know, if you do your numbers right, you could eat for about 3 months off of $350 on commissary. For real, if not longer. So that was a lot of money. Now, to make a long story short, he couldn't pay it, okay? And the guy wasn't really going to do nothing to him, okay? He wasn't. I knew him. He would rather keep him in the block than to really put on the pressure on him and make him leave, then he won't get nothing. But the guy was so scared because, Bobby was so scared because the guy that he owed was huge, man. The guy was huge, okay? Big dude. And, you know, he was really worried. He talked to me about it all the time. You know, I didn't have any kind of input for him besides the fact, like, don't go nowhere. Just try to pay your debt. You know what I mean? And one night, it was late night. It was like 10 o'clock at night. This guy comes over to the dude's cell. And I didn't know this guy too well. I mean, I've lived with him in the cell block for a good 7 months. But I never talked to him. He's very quiet. He had a lifetime sentence. Anyways, this guy, he came over there at late night tip. And you know, when you're next to his cell, you hear everything, man. And this guy wasn't really talking too quiet. It's late night. A lot of people are slowly starting to go to sleep. And I heard just about everything. And this guy was pretty much coercing him, saying, hey, you know, I'm going to take care of your debt. You know, I could take care of it, man, but you're going to have to help me out with a couple things, you know. He started smooth talking to him, man. And keep in mind, this guy was not homosexual, okay? He didn't have no homosexual tendencies. If he did, it was something that I definitely didn't see and nobody saw, you know what I mean? Anyway, this guy's over here offering to pay off his debt, you know, everything be all right, comforting him and stuff like that. And he said, just come by my cell later on tomorrow and we'll talk more about it and I'll make sure that everything's taken care of, you know what I mean? And he said it so nice, and I said, oh man. I looked at my cellie, I said, bro, this guy's about to get got, you know what I mean? And I was like, man, I'm not going to say, I can't say nothing to him because then I'm going to be in the mix, you know what I mean? I'm going to be in the mix and I might get caught up because this guy is going to be mad that I'm trying to mess with the guy that he's trying to get at, you know what I mean? So I just stayed out of it, bro. And I was like, talking to myself, I said, man, this guy's about to get got. And the next day, we started playing cards, and I was like, man, we got to watch Bobby, man, see what he does, see if he goes that cell and see what happens. So we're playing cards, you know, and then there's 2 tiers, top tier, bottom tier. And I'm slamming the car, slamming the car, playing spades. And then all of a sudden, you know, I'm fixing the cards in my hand, and I happen to look up, glance up, and on the tier, I see little Bobby, man. And I'm like, bro, look. And we see Bobby. He goes into dude's cell, okay? Cell door's open. He's just standing at the door frame, and he's talking to him for about 5 or 10 minutes. And the whole spade table, we're being nosy as hell, man. We're looking right up at that jank, you know? Playing with our cards. Trying to figure out what's about to happen. We know what's about to happen. This guy's about to put in the work. You know what I mean? So he's standing at the cell door talking. And then all of a sudden, about 5 or 10 minutes go by, he walks in the cell. And then you see the guy that's doing life come up to the door, press the button, and the door closes, and he puts the pillow in the cell window. Boom! It's done, bro. I knew right then, as soon as he put that pillow in the window, it was over. He coerced that guy to do sexual activities with him just to kill a debt. And that ain't it, my friends. That is not it, okay? This is just the beginning of about 8 more months of insanity. I got a moth in here. 8 more months of insanity, okay? Just watching and seeing the transformation of this guy from a straight guy playing baseball and softball and stuff like that into a pure prison woman. That's right, man. And I can promise you this, he was turned out, okay? So not only did this guy turn him out, but later on down the road, he started pimping him out. No joke. This $350 debt that he supposedly killed, which he didn't even kill, okay, and that's what ended up making him check out the block because he never killed the debt. This guy was in here having sexual activities not only with that guy, but over time he started wearing tighter pants, tighter shirts. He started tying up his shirt around his waist in a knot like one of those country girls you see on a freaking Pepsi commercial or something. Yeah, it was like that. But slowly and surely, this guy started wearing tighter and tighter pants. I'm talking about so tight one day that the police said, go back in your cell and put on some pants that fit you. These pants were skin tight. He turned this man, okay, little Bobby, into a woman. That is the facts. And he started going from cell to cell, and every time he went to a cell, a different cell, they would put the pillow in the window. He was getting pimped out, bro. Homeboy was pimping him out. He turned him out and he pimped him out. He's not only is he having sexual relations with the guy, but now the guy's making money off him as well. Never paid the guy's debt off. And that's what ultimately led to him checking out the block. You know, he checked out, meaning he wrote a piece of paper or told the police. He should have probably done that from the get-go. You know what I mean? And this, that, and the third, and he left the block. You know, I don't know exactly how he did it, but he did. And I did too later on. I got caught tattooing myself. I remember I was tattooing my stomach, had the music blasting, all of a sudden I look up and the police is right there at my door. I'm like, bro, where's my lookouts at, man? God! Went straight to the freaking hole for that, man. The guy's like, man, I was sitting here watching you for about 10 minutes, man. This is absolutely absurd. You know, I couldn't believe myself, man. My lookouts, man, they're trash. I knew it. You know, I told you in some of my earlier videos, lookouts, you have to get responsible lookouts, man. It might not be your friends, but guess what? They're responsible. Pay for them. I didn't pay for it. You get what you pay for. Idiots. So, yeah, I get out the hole and I go into another unit, and guess who's there? Little Bobby. And guess what? Little Bobby is back to being Bobby and not Barbara. You know what I mean? He's a normal guy again. And he came up to me one day. He said, man, please don't say nothing about what happened in the other unit, man. For real. And I was like, straight up, man, you know, I got you, bro. I ain't gonna say nothing. You know, everything good? You alright? And that was it, man. I never said another word to him. Kind of just kept our distance. And I didn't really want to say another word to him because I kind of felt bad in a way myself. I should have just told his butt to check in. You know what I mean? But that's not what people do, man. That's not what a lot of people do. Getting checked in, checking in could actually harm you if the police don't get you out of there. You know what I mean? And they'll hit me up before you leave. They'll make sure you leave on a stretcher. It's real. Penitentiary's real. Anyways, man, that's it. People definitely get turned out and pimped out in the state penitentiary on the regular. For real. Believe it or not. So later on tonight, man, I'm going to be streaming God of War on Twitch. Come on, check it out with me, man. It's a absolute masterpiece, this game. Until the next time, might be a few days. Like I said, I'm slowing it down a bit, man. Just slowing it down, but I'm always going to keep fresh content coming y'all's way, man.